You don't lack motivation. You don't lack talent. You lack discipline, and if you don't fix that now, your future self will despise you for it. Not hate you loudly, not curse you in public, but quietly resent you every morning you wake up tired, stuck, and behind, knowing you had time and wasted it. Every day you delay, you are silently voting for weakness. You're telling yourself that comfort matters more than character, that ease matters more than growth. And weakness compounds faster than success because it asks nothing from you until it takes everything. Miss one workout, one hard decision, one disciplined action, and nothing happens. Miss them consistently, and your standards decay. Your self-respect erodes. Your word to yourself becomes meaningless. Before you scroll, before you tell yourself later. Understand this. Later is where ambition goes to die. Subscribe now. Because the man who avoids discipline always pays with regret. And regret is a debt that doesn't forgive, doesn't forget, and always collects interest. You were taught that discipline is punishment, that it's harsh, that it's something imposed on you when you fail, that it exists to limit you, restrain you, and strip the joy out of life. That lie keeps you stuck, because anything you see as punishment, you will eventually avoid. From a young age, discipline was framed as correction, not power. Rules instead of standards. Restriction instead of mastery. So you learned to resist it, negotiate with it, or escape it altogether. But discipline isn't about forcing yourself to suffer. It's not about living joyless or denying everything you want. It's about deciding who controls you, your impulses, or your principles. Your emotions in the moment, or your values over time. When you lack discipline, your emotions lead. You act when you feel good. You quit when it gets uncomfortable. You justify weakness and call it being human. When you master discipline, you lead yourself. You move even when motivation disappears. You choose standards over moods. You act in alignment with who you say you are, not how you feel today. And a man who cannot lead himself will eventually lose his time, his respect, and his direction. He becomes reactive, distracted, and replaceable. She who avoids discipline will slowly trade her potential for comfort, and call it peace, even as dissatisfaction grows quietly inside her. Discipline is not the enemy of freedom. It is the price of it. Truth 1. Discipline is choosing pain now or suffering later. He who will not work shall not eat. This proverb is brutal because it's honest. Nature does not negotiate. Effort is the entrance fee for survival, progress, and respect. Refuse the work, and consequences arrive without emotion. Epictetus taught that discomfort chosen willingly is the path to freedom. To the Stoics, voluntary hardship wasn't self-punishment, it was training. They believed that if you don't prepare yourself for difficulty, life will prepare you through force. You do not avoid pain, you schedule it. You decide when and how pain enters your life, instead of letting chaos decide for you. Short-term discomfort builds long-term strength. Avoided discomfort multiplies into future misery. Pain avoided does not disappear. It waits, grows, and returns with interest. Skipping the gym feels easy, until your body weakens, your energy drops, and your confidence erodes. Avoiding hard conversations feels safe, until resentment builds, trust decays, and relationships collapse. What feels comfortable today often becomes unbearable tomorrow. Ancient warriors trained daily, not because it was pleasant, but because battle showed no mercy. They understood that controlled suffering in training prevented uncontrolled suffering in war. Do one hard thing today on purpose. Not tomorrow. Today. Choose discomfort before it chooses you. Truth 2. Motivation is a lie discipline replaces. Feelings pass. Habits remain. Feelings are temporary, unreliable, and easily manipulated by comfort. Habits, once built, operate regardless of emotion. Marcus Aurelius did not wait to feel ready. He acted because duty demanded it. He understood that waiting for motivation is a form of procrastination disguised as self-awareness. You act because it is right, not because you feel inspired. Principle outranks mood. Motivation obeys comfort. Discipline obeys principle. Motivation asks, do I feel like it? Discipline asks, is this who I am? Successful people don't wake up inspired every day. They wake up committed. They move forward even when energy is low, enthusiasm is gone, and no one is watching. Farmers didn't wait for inspiration to plant. They planted, or starved. The seasons didn't care how they felt. Results demanded action. Detach action from emotion. Move even when you don't want to, especially when you don't want to. Truth 3. Discipline is self-respect in action. How you do anything is how you do everything. Your standards don't selectively apply. They leak into every area of your life. Seneca believed self-command was the highest power. To rule yourself was greater than ruling nations. Without self-control, all external success is fragile. You treat your word as law. When you say you will act, you act, no negotiations. Every broken promise to yourself lowers your self-worth. Every kept promise restores it. Confidence isn't built through affirmations, it's built through follow-through. If you don't trust yourself, no one else will. People sense inconsistency. They respect reliability. Discipline makes you predictable in the best way. Stoics trained their minds before the world tested them. They rehearsed hardships so they wouldn't collapse under pressure. Make smaller promises, and keep every single one. Self-respect grows from consistency, not intensity. Truth 4. Discipline creates freedom, not restriction. The disciplined are free. The undisciplined are slaves. This truth is uncomfortable because it exposes the illusion of freedom without structure. Freedom comes from mastery over desire. If your cravings command you, you are owned, no matter how many options you have. You control your impulses instead of negotiating with them. You stop asking permission from your urges. Lack of discipline chains you to habits, cravings, and excuses. Discipline breaks those chains quietly, over time. Scrolling owns your time. Comfort owns your ambition. Indulgence feels like freedom until you realize you cannot stop. Stoics fasted, trained, and lived simply to remain unshaken. They reduced dependency so nothing external could control them. Remove one daily indulgence that weakens you. Not forever, just long enough to prove you are in control. These truths are not motivational. They are confrontational. And discipline doesn't care if you like them. It only cares if you obey them. When you apply discipline, something shifts, quietly, permanently. You don't announce it. You don't seek approval for it. You feel it in the way you move, the way you decide, the way you no longer hesitate. You stop explaining yourself because you no longer need permission. You stop chasing validation because your standards replace applause. You become calm under pressure because chaos no longer surprises you. You've trained for it. Your confidence stops being loud. It stops posturing, proving, and performing. It becomes unbreakable because it's built on evidence, on promises kept, habits honored, and discomfort endured. You don't rise because life suddenly becomes easy. You rise because you are no longer fragile. Setbacks don't shatter you. Criticism doesn't derail you. Discomfort doesn't stop you. It sharpens you. Discipline hardens you in the right places and softens you in the right moments. You respond instead of react. You think instead of panic. You act instead of complain. She who embraces discipline becomes grounded, respected, and internally secure. She no longer negotiates her worth or over-explains her boundaries. She moves with quiet authority. You who master discipline become dangerous to weakness. Not reckless. Not cruel. Dangerous because excuses no longer work on you. Temptation loses leverage. Fear loses its voice. This is the transformation discipline creates. A life led, not drifted. You will either discipline your habits, or your habits will discipline you. There is no neutral ground. No pause. No moment where inaction leaves you untouched. If you do not choose your habits deliberately, they will choose you automatically. And they will not be kind. They will shape your mornings, your reactions, your health, your finances, and your future. Quietly, relentlessly. Habits you ignore don't stay small. They grow roots. They decide how you spend your time, what you tolerate, and what you become. They either sharpen your edge or dull it completely. When you discipline your habits, life becomes simpler. Not easier, but clearer. You know what must be done, and you do it without drama. When habits discipline you, life becomes reactive. You chase urgency. You clean up consequences. You live in constant repair mode. This is the final truth. Discipline is the only force that prevents regret from taking control. Master your habits now, or spend your life answering to them. Most people will hear this and do nothing. Not because they disagree, but because change threatens comfort. They will scroll, forget, and stay exactly where they are, telling themselves they'll start when life slows down. It won't. Days will blur. Opportunities will pass unnoticed. And the version of you that could have existed will fade into a quiet what if. If that scares you, subscribe now. Not for motivation. Not for hype. But for reminders that keep you alert when laziness tries to negotiate and weakness tries to sound reasonable. Because the cost of ignoring discipline isn't obvious today. There's no alarm. No immediate punishment. Just small compromises that feel harmless until they shape your entire life. And one day, you'll look back and realize nothing ruined you dramatically. You were ruined quietly. By delay. By comfort. By choosing ease over effort. Choose control before control is taken from you. Choose standards before excuses. Choose inner discipline, while you still have the time to become who you were meant to be.